Welcome to the Game Before the Money podcast, an oral history of pro and college football. Hi everybody, I'm Michael Jackson. This is the Game Before the Money podcast. We got Hall of Famer Devin Hester coming your way. 14 punt returns for touchdowns in his NFL career. That is the most all time. Going into Super Bowl 60, he is the only player in NFL history to return the opening kickoff of the Super Bowl for a touchdown. Devin was kind enough to give me a quick phone interview calling in from Radio Row on the Friday before Super Bowl 60 between the Patriots and Seahawks. He joined me on behalf of Mike Ditka's Gridiron Greats and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. I'm going to tell you later in the show how to win tickets to next year's Super Bowl from them. Devin Hester, a member of the 2024 Pro Football Hall of Fame class, but he's a lot like the rest of us. He grew up watching the NFL on TV. I started the interview by asking him about some of his favorite early football memories.
I've been watching football since I was maybe started like around about 6, 7 where I started really watching the NFL. Always been a fan. Always been a fan of big players. Deion, Emmitt Smith, one of my favorite players. And so I always idolized certain players. And whenever those guys played, I would be glued to the TV.
Devin Hester was one of the top recruits in the nation when he came out of high school at Suncoast High School in Florida. That was about an hour and 20 minutes or so driving distance from Miami, and that's where he chose to go to college. From the get-go in college, he was a sensation. First time he touched the ball in a home game as a freshman, he returned a kickoff back for a touchdown against the Florida Gators. He also returned a blocked kick for a touchdown against the Gators in the Peach Bowl. He had a lot of big plays in college, and I asked him what did he learn in college about returning that he used in pro ball.
Most definitely, it just taught me the patience as a returner, the skills, the mindset, the preparation. Most definitely was a key, and just really understanding the lanes and the holes and kind of figuring out a way to read blocks a little better. Whenever you're doing things like that, the repetition is very important. So we had some great coaches that really instilled in me and coached me up real good and allowed me to be the type of player I am today.
Yeah, I noticed that in a lot of your kickoff returns, you kind of waited a beat before you went forward. Can you talk about that strategy a little bit and what you were looking for?
Just try not to outrun my coverage unit. You know what I mean? Sometimes the ball get overkicked and the guys are not down there right away. So you kind of try to buy time for the guys, my teammates get in a better position to make blocks. And then from that point on, you just kind of using your speed and your vision to find the holes and pretty much taking advantage of it.
Devin Hester's most famous kickoff return, of course, is the opening kickoff of the Super Bowl between the Bears and Colts. Still the only player in NFL history to return the opening kickoff of the Super Bowl back for a touchdown. I asked him to walk us through that return.
At that moment, I was surprised the guy kind of showed up in the hole out of nowhere. And it was just almost just natural instinct of making that guy, avoiding that guy, making a miss. And from that point on, the rest of my teammates pretty much did everything else, and I just took it on into the end zone.
Yeah, and I saw you looked up at the Jumbotron at the end. Did that help you avoid the defender behind you at the end of the return?
Yeah, whenever I'm running the kick back and I don't see nobody in the screen, you can ease up and kind of make sure you don't pull a hamstring or anything like that. And that's what I did. There was nobody in sight, and he ended up popping up at the last minute. So, it was just one of the moments where you look up in the Jumbotron, you don't see nobody by you, so you feel comfortable just running and taking it in there.
That particular Super Bowl 41, between the Bears and Colts, was played in Miami, where Devin played college ball, and about an hour and 20 minutes from where he grew up. I asked him if he sensed something special was going to happen.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, whenever you get an opportunity to play and back home and you playing in the greatest game in National Football League, which is the Super Bowl, you get an opportunity to play in your hometown. You know, you always want to make a statement and show your friends and your family, you know what I mean, what you're capable of doing and what you can do.
Earlier that season, Hester returned a missed field goal for a touchdown against the New York Giants. That went for 108 yards. That was tied for the longest touchdown in NFL history at the time. It's since been broken. On that play, if you watch it, you can find it online. You can see Devin start to backpedal before the kick goes in the air. I asked him if that was a design play, how much they had practiced on it, and here was his response.
Yeah, that was something that we rehearsed a lot throughout the year. You know what I mean? Situations like that where we play games where, you know, the weather might be playing a big factor. And that game, the weather was playing a factor, and with the wind blowing, things like that. So we knew that they had a lot of confidence in their kickers. And if they was going against the wind, that maybe it was going to a possibility that we can get our hands on a return, and so happened it ended up happening in our favor, and we got our hands on a return, and was able to take it to the distance.
Devin Hester was joining me from Radio Row on behalf of the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. That's Mike Ditka's group, helping former players. Also, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds are celebrating the 17th annual Pork Rind Appreciation Day. That's going to be on February 8th, this Sunday. Pork rinds are the perfect high-protein, low-carb snack. And Southern Recipe Pork Rinds are going to be giving away 2 tickets to next year's Super Bowl. That's going to be in Los Angeles. You can register at porkrinds.com. That's porkrinds.com. You can register for 2 tickets to next year's Super Bowl, airfare, and hotel. That's to the 2027 Super Bowl in Los Angeles, California. Radio Row is super busy. Devin got called away after just a couple of minutes, but we closed the interview with him talking about Mike Ditka's Gridiron Greats.
It was a situation that I was able to come to partner up with, and it was a great cause of helping out retired players. And you know, this is a benefit where we raise funds to help out guys that's, you know, retired and older, and you know, the financial part is not there, the insurance is not there, so it's really proper for those guys to help out and fund in those type of way we can.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Game Before the Money podcast. Please visit thegamebeforethemoney.com. Don't forget to register to win 2 free tickets to the 2027 Super Bowl in Los Angeles at porkrinds.com. The grand prize includes 2 free tickets to the game, airfare, and hotel. Also, be sure to look out for Mike Ditka's Gridiron Greats. It's a great foundation, the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. The Game Before the Money has a website, thegamebeforethemoney.com, in which transcriptions of some episodes are featured. Transcriptions are powered by our transcription partner, Sonix, Sonix. Visit sonix.ai to learn more about their automated transcription services. Also, don't forget to visit porkrinds.com to enter to win 2 game tickets, airfare, and hotel to the 2027 Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Special thanks again to Devin Hester, to Mike Ditka's Gridiron Greats, and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. And again, remember to visit porkrinds.com to enter to win a trip to the 2027 Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Good luck.